And today I am answering questions from viewers. I am very grateful for those that have sent questions in and for the questions that this particular viewer sent in about private sector engagement. The very first question is, what really is private sector engagement and why should practitioners care? Private sector engagement is essentially the process of converting root causes and constraints to investment opportunities and designing tools that will attract investors to invest in those opportunities. So that's essentially what private sector engagement is. Why should practitioners care? Practitioners should care because private sector have resources, have creativity, have technology that is way beyond what we have in economic development. And it would be really useful if we can design tools and processes and practices that leverage on those private sector resources, creativity, technology. That's why private sector should care, especially because our mandate is to take any really working solution to scale. And the only way we can do that is through the private sector actor, because we simply do not have enough resources to do so. Next question. Is private sector engagement only useful for livelihood programs? The short answer to that is no. Private sector actors or private sector exist in all of the sector of the economy, all over the country. So in governance, in health, in education, in social development, in girls programming, any program that you can think about, in all of the sectors of the economy, you have private sector actors. So wherever you find a private sector actor, you should be able to do private sector engagement. Next question. It's what mindset shift do practitioners need for effective private sector engagement? Listening, not to be prescriptive, to have a research-based, data-driven decision making. These are the requirement of a private sector actor. And you have to be able to design solutions and work with people in such a way that whatever solution you've come up with for a particular root cause or constraint is universal as opposed to just one that you design in the office. Next question. What are some of the organizational level barriers to effective private sector engagement? It's difficult to call them barriers. I think these things are essentially to protect the organization from risk. So because engaging with private sector actors or private sector in any program requires major due diligence, requires major trust, and that opens up the organization to risk. So if I would call it barrier, the only thing I can think about is policies. So policy regarding contracts with private sector actors. Some of those contracts can be very restrictive, but private sector engagement requires a level of flexibility and creativity. So that means the smart thing for us to do as practitioners is to find a way to balance the risk exposure of the organization with the creativity and flexibility required to do private sector engagement. So that's the answer to that. The next question is, what do program managers need to do to ensure effective private sector engagement? Mindset shift is probably the most important. You need to have the learning mindset. You need to have a research mindset. Your decisions need to be data-driven. You need to have skills of developing tools to engage private sector, communication with your colleagues in your program. You have to be able to sell the vision. You have to be able to sell the vision not only to the private sector actor, but to your beneficiaries or participants and to your colleagues in the program. And on top of that, you really need to be, in addition to that, you need to be able to manage the resources that you're given to effectively leverage on the resources, creativity, technology of the private sector. So that's the last of the questions. But I would just like to add that it's important for us as practitioners to really begin to listen, to our participants, because most of the solution to their problem they already have. So we really need to just try and listen to them so we can help them enhance the solutions that they've created, so we can really make an effective change in the work that we do. So thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you next time. And please answer the questions provide your own answer to the questions in the comment section below. So thank you very much. See you next time.